We have type identity and access management, so you can specify roles for users within an Amazon account. That means that you can have a developer who might have access to creating and maintaining their own databases, but which you don't want to have access to data integrity. You might also have a system administrator who has much broader access, but to which you don't want to have access to billing information. So you can set aside roles and identity and access management, again, using our tools. Those are all API-driven too. We also offer full resource isolation with a service that we call the Virtual Private Cloud. Now, this allows you to take virtual resources up on EC2 and isolate them in terms of networking, and make sure that you can basically extend your existing virtual private network up into the cloud. You can make use of your existing VPN and the virtual servers that are running on EC2, but manage them as if they were just physical resources in your own data center over your own VPN. All network traffic is routed through your VPN. Even internet traffic will get routed back to your VPN in your own data center securely. And that means you can take your existing network access policies and network protection policies and just reapply them to the cloud. You can also take your own IP addresses and subnets and just place those up into the cloud. We'll even generate router configuration files for you for particular types of routers too. So it's a very, very easy way of making use of the elastic, burstable nature of the cloud, but with your own VPN and your own physical infrastructure too. So we play well in both scenarios. So if you want to read more about our security, you can go to our security center at aws.amazon.com/security. There's a PDF white paper that's available up there. We update that every 6 months, and I think we updated it a month or two ago. It's very, very easy read. It's only about 15 pages long, and I very much recommend that you take a look at that if you're interested in cloud security. And with that, I'd just like to wrap up. So we talked about on-demand provisioning. We talked about our pay-as-you-go model. You pay for what you use. We've talked about elastic resources and elastic servers with EC2, and how this hopefully allows you to move to market more quickly and maintain the focus on your core competency and not on just maintaining and running servers. And we've talked a bit about security and reliability on our global infrastructure too. And with that, I'd just like to thank you all very much for listening to me. I welcome any questions or comments. Drop me a line at mawood@amazon.com, or you can find me at MZA or on Twitter. So thank you very much for listening to me, and thank you for joining us and joining along. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt, for a comprehensive and an interesting presentation. Now we'll take some questions. So if you have any questions, just click on raise hand, or you can type them in the questions panel. Yeah, there is one. Okay, there's a question here from Nigel Derrett. Who pays for the software licenses?
Right, good question. So for Windows, we actually offer 2 different ways of doing it. The first is you pay for the licenses as you go. So we work closely with our colleagues at Microsoft, and you pay a little bit extra per hour if you're running Windows servers. It's a couple of cents extra per hour, and that money pays for the licensing of the copy of Windows that you are running. And that's great because you don't have to have licensing agreements set up or anything like that, virtualization agreements set up with Microsoft ahead of time. If you do have existing Windows licenses, you can actually bring those up onto EC2 as well. It works either way. If you've got licenses, you can bring those along, and you get a cost reduction back down to the standard EC2 rate. Other than that, we just add a little bit on per hour, and you pay for the licenses as you go as well. So it's really very, very easy to get up and running. And you can just remote desktop into Windows once it's up and running and use it like any other Windows desktop after that.
Okay, there's another question. What compilers are available? This is from Joanna Leng.
Compilers, so it's anything that is available on the particular virtual machine operating system that you're running. So you can run the GCC compilers if you're running on Linux. You can run all the Windows compilers if you're running on Windows. The Intel compilers all work very well, very well, for any language that you want. So you really do get root level, low level access to these machines. You can just log in and use them as if they were right next to you. So you can use any compilers that you want. For other languages, like Objective-C or Ruby or Python, things that you don't need to compile down, there are APIs to use those to drive our web services too, but in terms of compilers and compiling your code, you can use whatever you want.
Okay, we have many more questions. Min Hong wants to know, is there any document about the technical detail of the system?
Technical detail in terms of using the system, absolutely. So you can go to aws.amazon.com/documentation, and there's API documentation there. But we don't provide documentation in terms of the actual operation of our platform. It's sort of our secret sauce. And actually, the whole point of using a service like this is that you don't need to worry about how we operate it internally. You just have to worry about how you use it. So that's why we provide API level documentation, but we don't talk specifically about how we operate, other than where we want to be transparent in terms of security and data ownership.
Okay, and we have 3 questions from Sebastian Bourbon. If I provide a service myself, supported by your EC2 in the background, can I monitor individual clients' users and invoice them under my own terms?
You can. So anything you can do with a server, you can do with EC2. We do offer something called DevPay as well, which I didn't talk about. So that allows you to take your own custom-built virtual machine and wrap it effectively in a payment layer. So you can take a customized virtual machine. Let's say you've got your own caching layer or your own CRM service, something like that. You can provide that as a machine image. Other people can take that machine image, run it themselves. You can pay a little bit extra on top of the hourly EC2 rate, and that money we take from the customers, and then we send it over to you using our flexible payment service. So there's a lot of flexibility there in terms of ISVs and system integrators to add value to their existing allowing others to use them on top of EC2.
Okay. And this question is from Richard West. He had sent me an email. It would be helpful if my question about installing the Windows version of the Moodle installation package answered in the webinar. Richard, the exact question, would you like, is that the question, or if I unmute you, would you like to ask the question yourself? Because I'm not clear about the exact question from this. Okay, I'm unmuting you now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Could you speak up a bit?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Richard.
Oh, hi, Matt. Yeah, I attended your presentation in London, but I'm new to this. I'm trying to install. I've uploaded the Moodle, the Windows Moodle installation package to S3, where it's stuck at the moment. How do I get it unzipped? In the forum questions, it mentions about, somebody mentions about you have to transfer it to EC2 and do it, but I don't know how to do it. Some screen prints or information would be helpful, please.
Sure. We can discuss this offline, your specific problem. But in general, just to clarify, S3 is a storage service. So that exists for high availability data storage. It's not in and of itself a server platform or anything like that. So you can place data there, but all you can do with S3 is get data out of it again. So S3 takes care of managing that data in the background, providing multiple points of redundancy and failover and all the rest of it. But in and of itself, it's only for putting data in and taking data out or distributing it to a broader audience. So you can get data into there very quickly, as you've discovered. But if you actually want to run Moodle, which is an education classroom management thing, is that correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, great. So if you actually want to run that up on the cloud, you need to instantiate a Windows instance on EC2 and then upload the installer and run it on the instance which is running on EC2. But I'm happy to talk you through that if you drop me an email directly. But that's the difference between S3 and EC2. So maybe that'll help you. But feel free to drop me a line and I'll guide you through your specific.
I will do. Thank you.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you. And we have 4 more questions, so we'll take them quickly. This is once again from Sebastian Bourbon. When you create a new computer instance, am I the one installing the operating system?
Typically not. So we have a collection of these machine images, and what we try and encourage you to do is use those as a base machine image. From that, you can create new machine images with new installations, with new software, new services installed on top of them. In terms of the OSs that we offer, as I said, we've got everything from CentOS, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, SUSE Linux, various flavors of Windows. And there are ways of bringing other OSs in, but what we try and recommend is that you use a base installation and work from that.
Okay, one, I think probably this is related. We have a few of our own virtual boxes using the Oracle VirtualBox software. Can we just import these pre-installed virtual machines?
OracleBox, I'm not entirely sure. Drop me an email and I'll check for you.
Okay, and Min Huang wants to know, what is the speed of internal network connection?
It is 1 gig between standard EC2 and 10 gig between our high-performance nodes.
Okay, Min is requesting to be unmuted, so just a minute, Min.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Min.
I'm interested in, about a computing service. So in the case we want a cluster, so what is speed connection between each machine per machine? In principle, I can expect it performance. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. So the question is.
So my just why in the first question I asked about technical detail because I'm sure my problem can be solved on such a system. So I want to know high level the detail in the sense that what is speed between virtual machine and how much I can expect the connection speed or something like that.
So yeah,
can you answer that?
Sure. It's gig between EC2 instances. Apart from our cluster compute and GPU compute instances, they have full duplex, so full 10 gig E up and down between the nodes for super low latency, high speed, tightly connected workflows.
So is that possible? You say have a account trial to evaluate it, or you have a documentation to type benchmark of that available?
Yeah, just go to aws.amazon.com, click the sign up button. You'll get 750 hours of compute for free, 3 gigs of S3 storage and 5 gig of network attached storage, just to give it a try. So I encourage everybody to give it.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. So last 2 more questions, I think. last one, I think. Could you quickly describe the other services that you showed that complement EC2? So this